are you doing?
This evening is out.
What?
This evening is out.
What is that?
Huh? No, this happened. Nothing to do with this.
Sierra,
What?
don't worry about my driveway.
Yeah, well, I'm not now. You know.
Like, no, seriously, Sierra.
I know, I see it.
I've got bigger fucking issues than that.
Yeah, whatever. But you know that you and your camera, fuck, no one's gonna find
Yeah. No, you need to take your stuff and find someplace else to stay. You can't stay here. You're not going to live in my garage, Sierra. I don't need you picking up fucking weeds and rocks out there. That's not what the city cares about.
I got a little hummingbird.
Seriously, Sierra? You just got out of jail today.
Yeah, I know. He's in there.
Okay, same day, March 24th. It's 5:15 in the evening. You can see that. I was on court, March 12th? She was supposed to have another 24 more days, people. How they let her out in 12 days, I don't know. But they did, right? Her lawyer kind of asked me to find her a recovery house so that when they released her from jail, she could go straight there. But, you know, Tisha was trying to contact these people, and one, they either weren't answering their phone, right? Or if they did, they sent you to a website to print out 15 fucking pages to put an application in with BC Housing and a separate application into their facility, as if, you know, how many months is that going to take, people? Now I got her in my yard again. She came here when I was out. If anyone gets sick in this house, it will be because of, well, could be anything. It's the coronavirus. It's everywhere. Ooh. Right? And now I'm going to be harassed almost daily, people, for money. As I've already overspent, didn't pay my bills, maxed out on my fucking credit cards, not that there was much money left on them anyway, just to cover my ass with laundry soap and that kind of shit, right? In the event that, you know, the government really just wants to stick it home to people. Okay, people, same day, March 23rd. 2020. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I went out and got today, simply because, right, obviously spending money that I shouldn't have, but in light of what's going on, and, you know, I have a disabled child on my hands, that, you know, requires laundry being done in a timely manner on top of everything else that goes on in a household with children and adults. I am going to be making my own laundry soap, which I've done in the past. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'll show you. And of course, I bought a little extra where I could, because we don't know how long this shit's going to go on for. And trust me, when I say that the shelves were empty, they were. These just happened to be at the bottom, way tucked off into the back, with just a few of them left. So I picked up 3 of those. You can see. This was kind of expensive. This bag, I think, was like 14 bucks. But if I have to, I'm going to get into cloth diapers sooner than I thought I was going to. In addition to, I might have to make my own washable toilet paper. So I would probably use some of this in my bucket of water, which I will show you. Or I could use it for diapers. Then I've got this. 2 boxes, you can see, which I will be combining with those other boxes. And then what you want, and this is what I liked about the Punjabis, they have this kind of soap. And this is a bar soap for washing clothes, right? And of course I've got, okay, you can see that, 6 of those, which will last a very long time. And then I just shred them and I mix them in with some of that and some of that. And then I get concentrated laundry soap, which lasts a very long time because you only need a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup, depending on what you're washing at a time. I could not find any dish soap anywhere. So I bought this because I don't know what else to do. So, and I need dish soap. A week ago, I didn't think I would be in this situation, but I am. So at least I have that to wash my dishes. I picked up that, although I prefer doing it that way anyway, but that was fairly cheap. And then I bought 1 of those and 2 bottles of bleach. So when it comes to cleaning products, basically I went out looking for laundry soap, dish soap, right? But in light of what's going on, I took it 1 step further, you can see, and I just did a little prep because I don't know what's going to happen over the next while, right? And because there's my son in the house that does laundry and whatnot, it's better if I just make a little extra. So hold on. Okay, people, it's the next day. I think it's March 26th, right? Tomorrow's the 27th. So anyway, it is like 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since, oh, I don't know, 6 or something like that. I'm so tired, people. All this physical activity between the yard and running around in grocery stores looking for shit. Just going out for me, it whacks me back. But anyway, I had to because we're coming into a doomsday period here that just flashed out of nowhere. Right? You know, it's not like anybody really had time to prepare for it. And if they did, they weren't telling other people about it. Okay? Some people, I think, like, I honestly, the city can't tell me, people, that they didn't know this shit was coming before they showed up at my fucking door. Okay, sorry for swearing, but it is what it is. Like, you know, the timing was just too perfect and too coincidental in terms of when they're showing back up at the house. Okay, so I'm, you know, I have a family, people. I have children that depend on, like, little teeny weeny children, not just adult children, but I have little teeny weeny children. I have Andre and I have Amari, right? And then of course there's little Leia May running around, right? So, you know, I need to make sure that worst case scenario, there's food in the house and laundry soap. And it, you know, it's a good thing that I sew, people. I know I haven't sewed for years and years and years and years and years and years. But at the end of the day, I can tell you, I'm pretty freaking happy that I have cotton diaper fabric right now at this point in life, considering I can't find toilet paper anywhere I go. And nor has anybody else that goes out and about shopping, like my son. He was the first one to tell me about it, like a week and a half ago. And I said, no, you gotta be kidding me. He goes, no, there's no toilet paper. I said, well, you know, keep an eye open for some because I'm running out. And he can't find any. I had somebody comment on my video here just yesterday, last night or whenever. They just recently commented and said they can't find toilet paper in Surrey either. So, and I went yesterday out because I need to make sure I can wash clothes, people. How the hell am I supposed to look after Amari with cloth diapers if I can't wash them with soap? I have to be able to wash them. So even if you have to go, like I said, go into those smaller specialty stores that cater to the various ethnic groups that live in the communities, because oftentimes they get their products. This is from India, people, okay? And this is a soap that they use to wash by hand with their own clothes, right? It's just in their tradition, okay? And this is a very good supplement to make a laundry soap for yourself that you combine with, one of these, right? Some of this, right? You can see. And you take a shredder and you shred this and you put that in there, and you'll be surprised how long your soap will actually last compared to buying those poor kinds, which is mostly water, or the big boxes of just laundry soap like the good old days, right? You want to do it this way, one, to make sure you have it, and two, so that it can go a long way and be effective, right? So that's what took me out yesterday, people, was because I needed to make sure I had enough for whatever is coming. Now, I would suspect this isn't going to go on for very long, because if our governments, it's not just my government, but if our governments plan on doing this to the general population for any length of time, there's going to be anarchy, okay? Because a lot of people are not prepared. They're just not prepared, people. And the YouTube, fake media, right? And all these news channels, like Google, people on lockdown in the USA, or whatever, you're not getting the real deal like you get with me in terms of I tell the story, right? I tell you what's going on in a fucking day, okay? I give it to you in the raw, right? As it unfolds. So anyway, not the news medias though. They're mainly reporting on what Trump said, what Trudeau said, what, the president of that country said, what the premier of that province said, what the governor of that state said. That's the news that you're getting around the coronavirus, in with the medical professionals, the doctors with their masks on, and the nurses crying, oh, boo-hoo-hoo, saying, well, we're at the point in the game now where we're literally locking people up by themselves and not letting nobody see them, including their loved ones. So unfortunately, these people are dying in isolation by themselves, hooked up to ventilators. Oh my God, people, you don't know how livid it makes me to hear that. Because in light of what they did to Shimei, half of what you see is not real. And what you hear is even less real. Okay? I walk the talk. Anyway, who's to say that what happened to Shimei isn't happening to people right now in the United States of America and in Canada? Those are my main two priorities in terms of countries. What other countries do, other countries will do. But I'm on my home front, and in light of what they did to Shimei, people, this is making it way too easy for that money grab to occur. Or for that organ grab to occur. Okay? The numbers are being fudged. Okay? To instill mass hysteria. That's what we're experiencing right now. Is mass, it's a form of, what is it called? Like, being hypnotized, right? And it just hasn't gotten to a heightened state yet where people are going to revolt. It's not that people aren't already thinking about it, because they are. They just have been conditioned for so long to be so passive that, you know, it would take some extremes before a civil war would break out. But you see, the government's been prepared for this for a long fucking time. That's why they've got those killer bullets, first of all. That's why they've been militarizing their sheriff departments and their police departments, right? In combination of criminal organizations infiltrating those departments that use tax dollars, right? To illegally harvest organs, people, and sell those organs on the black market. Now, in a month ago, okay, I will upload this after I'm done. I'll show you a few things, and then I'm going to upload it because I'm talking, right? And then later on throughout the day, I'm going to show you the other little things that I bought, and then I'm going to take you down into food storage and to Shemai's room. I'm going to show you what's going on in there, because we haven't did a touch base on that for a minute, because maybe just through me going through doing that, people that are in a dire situation will get a few ideas to fill in the gaps, right? Okay, so what was I saying before that? I don't even remember, people. I should have just kept on talking about it, right? So anyway, you're watching it, you're looking for the real stories as to how people are getting on about without fucking laundry soap, okay? Or how are they getting on about with what is it called? No baby formula, okay? No baby formula, because they're locked in. They're locked in, and all the shelves are empty. But of course, the news is not report, like these news stations, they're not reporting that. They're not going out into ground zero and actually talking to the people themselves, right, in regards to how you holding up, how you making out. You have to remember, there are something like 40 million people that live in poverty in the United States of America, and it is well below the poverty line, and many of those 40 million people, who a large portion of those people are children, they're on food stamps, people. But if there's no food in the grocery store, and they've been manufactured, okay, we're talking about manufactured poverty here, okay, generation after generation, living within a fixed means, where it's basically paycheck by paycheck, food stamp by food stamp, right? Where your cupboards are basically bare between the two payments, which is like that for millions of people based on manufactured poverty. The media, the politicians, the doctors, none of those people are talking about that. And you can't find the stories with the real people telling those stories about how they're struggling with no formula for their children, never mind not having milk, or eggs, or butter, or flour, or sugar, or toilet paper, or laundry soap, or dish soap, or bleach, or salt. I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on, right? So that's another thing that makes me suspicious about what's going on here, because obviously YouTube is filtering out those videos, that information, because what they're doing through their algorithm is they're pushing the narrative with the politicians and the big boys, the governors and the premiers and the presidents and the prime ministers and, the doctors, right? The doctors, the big bad doctor. The doctor said. Well, just remember, some of those doctors are a Dr. Ghoul with their fucking loosies. Okay? Just remember that, people. When in doubt, think of Shemai. always think of Shimei if you know of this story when those little, oh, something's not right here. Well, yeah, something's fucking not right. So, you know, clean your eyes out and take a good look at it. But now they've made it where you can't. You can't go look now, people. Right? So they're doing whatever they want with these bodies that are being isolated. And of course, some of them will make it, or some of them won't. If everybody died, then it would be a real uproar. But if only 10% die, that's all they need, people. 10%. Now, I remember what I was saying, and I got off it. So, a month ago, the economy was going business as usual, except for these backroom deals with these 1,300 CEOs selling out and stepping down and selling out their shares to their stocks and, you know, stepping down as CEOs like for the last couple, 2-3 months. Apparently 1,300 bigwig CEOs all stepped down from their posts and sold their shares to their companies and all this other shit, and then the economy crashed. Well, the economy is crashing. Okay, this is a manufactured crashing of the economy to where it's almost going to be going into a reset. It's like we're going to have to reset the economy just as fast as we crashed it. And I mean, like, this is some weird kind of fucking science experiment, in my opinion. Unless, of course, the government, you know, but the government has, though, people. They've already done their projections. They already have a good idea as to what the result will be when they reset the economy to try and bring it back up to the level it was a month ago when it was business as usual, right? However, here's the deal. With that business as usual economy, we had a more stronger, what is it? How do they say it? Like a black market economy, right? The housing market, British Columbia, Canada. Okay, it's not just happening in British Columbia, Canada, but the housing market funnels billions, $8 billion a year, people. $8 billion a year they funnel through the fucking housing market in British Columbia, Canada. Okay? That's not to mention the fucking millions or billions of dollars that they funnel through their fentanyl. And then that money was going through the fucking casinos. And then we snagged into the illegal organ harvesting aspect around it. Do people honestly think that with our normal economy crashing through being manufactured to crash, okay, through draconian legislation that's criminalizing basically everybody, but the hardest hit will be the poorest of the poor, anyone below 80,000, not to mention the other 440 million below the poverty line, okay? With having no access to basic sundries like toilet paper and hand soap and that kind of shit, toothpaste, toothbrush, like, right? There should be a restock here. It's not just a reset, it's a restock, right? But of course the government's blaming it on hoarding, you know, buying, hoard biting or whatever they call it. You know, people are going and they're hoarding now, right? Well, they knew they were going to do that when they rolled out this shit. So they should have had a backup plan with a bunch of fucking bins in there with a whole bunch of toilet paper. But besides that point. So anyway, the economy is crashing very quickly, right? It's manufactured. But at the same time, that illegal economy, that black market that was flourishing at a higher percentage rate than your normal economy, what? You think that's going to crash, people? Do you honestly think that the black market of selling this and wheeling and dealing and that is going to fucking crash just because the rest of us are crashing? Hell no, people. That's just going to go like that. That's why I say it's a money grab. Okay? This is a money grab for the public union sector. Is it a money grab for every fucking government worker? Obviously not, because not every government worker is directly involved with illegal organ harvesting or stealing of old people's money to prop up a fucking system that helps to sustain their employment, right? Or seniority in Eleanor's case, you know? She just wanted to flex her seniority and, steal John's money simply because she could, because she knew that she could, because other people's monies were being stolen long before John showed up. Okay? That's why it was so easy for her to fucking do it, because many of those workers within the public union sector are corrupt. That is not changing people. Going out and not being able to buy laundry soap or toilet paper with people pointing their finger saying, "Stand back! Social distance!" Like, literally. Fuck, man. Scared because they can't find toilet paper. Scared because they live paycheck to paycheck. Whether it's a working family on low income, whether it's people on social assistance or disability pensions or whatever it is, right? They don't have that food security to get them through. And our governments are not talking about it. And are they not only talking about it, the news medias are not talking about it. And if people are talking about it, like me, we're being highly censored so that the information, how we say it, doesn't get out there. So, in essence, what's happening is we're being lulled with this. In one way, they're trying to make it all fuzzy bear. Oh, I love you, social distance. I'm only doing it for your better interest because I love you. Huggy, huggy at 6 feet away. I'll talk to you later. Bye. But as soon as you cross that line, it's like, go away, and they're moving away from you people. I had people going like this fucking yesterday from me in a public store. That's how paranoid everybody is, and everybody is on the same fucking page. That's the funny thing about it. Like, when I walked into that little Punjabi store that I've been going to for years and years and years and years and years, and then they sent me out because they were only allowed to have 5 customers in at a time because their business establishment was small. Oh my God, I'm telling you people. And now they're locking up people on so-called ventilators and leaving them alone to suffer in silence with no lawyers to defend them and their human rights, with no lawyers to defend the families and their human rights to have access to their loved one, regardless of whether they're dying or not. What? Do they give the body back to the loved one after the person's died? Or is that body contaminated and it suddenly disappears into the abyss and gets what? Pillaged before they burn it? To hide the evidence, people? Are you listening to what I'm saying? Because it's happening. It happened to Shimei. And if it happened to Shimei, it's been happening to other people. And right now, what's happening, the way it's fucking happening, is coming in a en masse fucking wrap your arms culling of the harvesting of the general public as the federal governments and the states and provincial governments and the municipal governments, aka the public union sector, manipulate everything and everybody to be submissive, hoping that we won't be next on the chopping block. But yet, I can guarantee you the black market, wherever the economy is there, and illegal organ harvesting hasn't stopped. The sales of fentanyl hasn't stopped, right? The stealing of old people's money hasn't stopped. And whatever else the fuck these people do, because they use taxpayers' dollars to do it, first of all. That's what empowers them to do it, because they can use $500,000 of taxpayers' money to put a dead body on a machine for 9 days so that it can cover up the fact that they stole its organs. But you won't even be able to see that now, people, because you're not allowed to go in and say goodbye to your loved one. And because they're contaminated with the coronavirus, that body's being burned the minute it's shipped out the fucking door. So say la vie. You'll never see your loved one again. You won't even be able to have a funeral. And we're supposed to take that off face value because the so-called Dr. Ghoul and his fucking Lucy said so, huh? With what? Politicians? Talking about how they care about the homeless? Yeah, okay, what are they going to do about Sierra? They just released her out of fucking jail. That was it. Okay, that's all I got to say about that one. I can only imagine what the poor families in the United States that have been on lockdown for a couple, 2-3 weeks now, right? Without ever even thinking it was going to happen in a blink of a fucking eye. Like, just turn off the switch, right? And there is no end in sight. And you've got hungry children with dirty clothes, with no toilet paper. You need to really stop and think about that, people. What can you do? I don't know. If you don't have toilet paper, look for some fabric that's not scratchy. Get yourself a bucket, okay? Use a disinfectant for a solution and wash. Assuming that you can find soap. Okay, I'm mad. I have to save my energy to sort this. I created myself extra work, people. As if, and I spent money I couldn't afford to spend. But I had to, because just in light of the way our governments have been doing this, and how the real reality around what's happening is being censored out through propaganda and lip service to keep the people on that path, right, by any means necessary, with the hope that it will end, but at the same time, you're being told that it's the new normal, whatever that is supposed to mean, okay? Even though that illegal underground economy is flourishing in the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars that our governments, regardless of what type of jurisdiction they fall under, are ignoring it, because at the end of the day, it's being all facilitated through the public union sector. People need to fight to have the right to be with their loved ones if they want to be, regardless of whether they have the coronavirus or not. Because if they don't fight for their loved ones and they let those loved ones sit up there and fucking maybe be alive, maybe be dead, but never have witness to what actually really happened, then yeah, it will be a matter of time before things get really bad. Okay, now, because I have Amari, now I don't really need to worry about milk at this point, people, because, for Amari, that is. Because Amari, with his special needs, right, is on a at-home program. And I get cases of this. I get 2 of these, I think. 2 cases of this, or 3. And then I get these too. Sent to me once a month. But that's right now under these current conditions. I would assume I still have access to this for Amari. But let's just say I didn't. Right? Or let's just say, there's no milk for a lamb in a month from now. Well, what am I going to give her, right? Or anybody else for that matter. So, good old chickpeas. And for a child, thinking about it this morning, because I'm putting myself in 40 million other people's shoes right now, in terms of, you know, in the United States of America, the ones that live either at or below the poverty line, with their cupboards basically bare because they were, you know, conditioned under manufactured poverty to remain in poverty for years and could never establish that safety net, even though they may have wanted it. Okay, so anyway, I would take some of this, boil them up, mash them, strain them, and then if I had a substitute milk, like a powdered milk or an evaporated milk, I would combine half and half, right? You can't necessarily use evaporated milk for a baby to flourish on because it doesn't have enough nutrients, fats, right, for the brain development. That's why they say if you're going to feed baby, what is it called? Evaporated milk, it can only be for a short period of time. But in order to make this tasty, you know, and maybe with different nutrients, you could go half and half on your formulas or milk products that you're trying to make for your children if you don't have access to milk or formula, people. I'm lucky. Amari's on a program. Chances of him falling through the cracks at this point when it comes to milk are nil to none. But the majority of children are not. And this is what YouTube is suppressing in terms of nobody's talking about it. Nobody. I can't find no videos of anybody putting out there the cry for help. I know people are crying for help, but at the same time, they're being silenced. Okay? Just because of the way, one, our social medias are hooked up with, you know, Facebook, having, you know, everybody on their own network. So right there, once you go on, put yourself on your own network, you kind of isolate yourself, right? Okay, so I'll show you, I got quite a few bags of these. Okay, because for me, whether I use them for milk products or whether I use them for just general cooking or whether my son ends up eating them, they're fine. But the chickpeas is actually the best for Amari. I really should try and incorporate chickpeas into his diet every week, a few times a week, 2 or 3 times a week. I just haven't gotten into a routine yet. Or put them into the things that I make, and when I freeze, right? I could cook up chickpeas, make my little dishes, and then put a few in there for him and freeze them, so this way I don't have to make a batch every time. Because ideally, you want to buy them like this. Now, those ones are not organic, okay? Right? Those ones are not organic. And I think I paid $7 per bag, and I got quite a few bags. And no, I didn't wipe out the store, but people were starting to pick at it. And then I got organic. You can see. And I already have some. I got 2 of those ones in a jar somewhere. I told you that a while ago. I just can't find them. Okay. And then there's this one here, which is a little darker bean, but it's the same, similar thing. And I'm just going to put these away in food storage. And the reason I got those ones was, you know, worst case scenario, you know, you're not coming into access to a lot of vegetables. So in this case, you can sprout and then cook, right? And you'll get your greens more so that way than if you had access to no greens. So I bought 3 of those kind anyway. And there's a few other things that I bought here when it comes to that kind of stuff. So let's count them. Alright, well, I'll show you, and then I'm going to turn off this camera. Because I was supposed to be working in the yard, people, not running around buying fucking beans that I can't afford right now. Like, what the hell? I'll show you. Just because this is all I needed if I needed anything. And of course, everybody's all freaked out. And when you go outside, it's like mass hysteria. So you kind of jump on that bandwagon, right? So of course, now I'm buying because I'm scared, right? If I'm going out into the public where everybody is fucking scared, you don't think that's not going to affect my space, right? And influence my buying and influence my buying decisions, especially when you're looking and you can't see too much to buy. Of course you're going to panic and you're going to spend your last dime to make sure that you can survive. Right? So this is what I mean. This is what I mean by mass hysteria. Okay? You know? I jumped on that bandwagon yesterday, people. I'll show you. Because I wanted to make sure that if it got real funky, I had enough to get my family through. And I've always said it, if it ever comes to that, I would take in a few other people, children or whatever, and feed them too, because I have food. But this just shows you how easy it is for somebody to be hypnotized, to overspend based on fear. I did not buy this because I needed food storage, people. I bought this because I was afraid that if I didn't buy it in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, I might regret it. Based on the fear that was reeking out in the community. I'll just show you. Okay, I think that's it. Oh yeah. I'll show you. I'm gonna end it here on this video. I'm gonna upload this one. I have to figure out where I'm gonna put this shit now. Right? Because I'm kind of maxed out here in terms of food storage space, but I do have room downstairs in the first one I started off with. It's just a matter of having to get in there and put it all away when that's extra work and physical labor and where I should be outside, right? Or working on Auntie Shimei's lawsuit. But, you know, I needed just to, I needed to know that I could, what do you call that? Survive this storm. So just to show you, we already did the laundry aspect of things. So I'm good with that. Right? And then this is for milk, if I need to make milk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I bought 6 of those, you can see. 4 pounds each. So I'm impressed with those. Right? Plus I've already got some. Right? I bought this specifically for Amari and to make milk if I need to. Right? For specifically Amari. Because I have already tons of beans around the house. I got a whole cupboard up in there full of fucking beans. Okay? I got so many beans coming out of my ears. You don't know how many beans I got. But I just wanted to make sure if I needed vegetables, and who knows, you know, you can only grow so much in your yard. These are always nice to have. So you can sprout these, right? And then, of course, you know, I just, for the sake of it, under mass hysteria, I bought another one of those for the same purpose. But I don't need to open those because I already have some. So those are going into food storage downstairs. These are going into food storage downstairs. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, Okay? And then I couldn't find any green peas, but I bought 2 extra bags of yellow split peas. And if I go out and about again, I'll look for some green, because peas are high in your B vitamins, right? So you can see. And then, of course, I came across a little bit of, you can't find sugar, you can't find flour. And then I just got 2 extra bags of powder milk. But I already have powder milk in the house, right? But just, put it aside. So yeah, people, like, do you see how easy it was to manipulate me? There goes my nose, eh? Do you see how easy it was to manipulate me? I noticed it. Can you notice it? Do you see how I was manipulated through this mass hysteria over a virus that is isolating people by convenience for, what? In light of what anyone who watches my channel and takes serious about what I talk about knows to be real, in terms of what you see, only half of it you believe. What you hear, well, that's hard to say. I mean, you can believe it all and get paranoid and go off and do shit like this. And, maybe it's a good thing I did this, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't need it at this point. This money that I spent here was supposed to go to file the lawsuit for Shimei. It's going to cost me $200 to file the lawsuit for Shimei. Because if I don't pay the $200, then I have to put an application in to go stand in front of a judge, explain myself why I need my fees waived. Right? And, when I went to go file Uncle John's lawsuit, at first, they said, okay, do it that way. I filled out all the paperwork, did everything. And then when it came out time to print out the actual lawsuit through their system, because when you put an application in for waiver of fees, you have to put in your notice of claim right into their particular forms. And because I had so many pages, their system couldn't take them, which kicked me out of those forms. And therefore, I just paid the $200 because otherwise I would have been sent away. Hold on a minute. I have somewhat of a mild cold. I told you that a week ago. I woke up with a raspy voice for a couple of days. Right? So, it's nothing major. It's mild, very mild. So anyway, do I feel good about what I did? Well, in light of everything that I have, I feel okay. I feel like mission accomplished if my government really wants to take it there, right? And I'm hearing from several people, 3 so far, that they've heard through military connections that we're here where I live is going into a form of martial law. Whatever that means, I don't know. Outside of people are being laid off. My son's losing his job, right? Being laid off. Tisha's boyfriend, right? Fiance now, it has been laid off, right? Yeah. So, like, there's that crashing of the economy, bringing us down to Venezuela, pretty much, in terms of having access to commodities and sundries, basic laundry soaps and dish soap and toilet paper, right? In a flash of an instant, that's obviously well coordinated between the various politicians and news outlets, right? As the underground economy is still flourishing, people. Nothing has changed there. Because you have to remember, people like me, We don't make it into the courthouse and have real legitimate trials to stop that criminal activity that makes that underground economy flourish. So if nothing has stopped them yet, don't expect it just to stop kindly on its own, because it hasn't. If anything, it's going to ramp up, people, because it's a money grab. Now you've got people hooked up to machines with taxpayers' dollars going into the trillions of dollars going into the healthcare system to have people locked up on a hospital bed with so-called ventilators, completely isolated from the world, with nobody, absolutely nobody, advocating on their behalf, whether it's a family member or a legitimate lawyer. So anyway, I'm going to end it here. So I still, if I really wanted anything, I'd want 2 bags at least of green peas. But I'm not sweating green peas right now. And then we've got all that, you can see, right? Bought those, you can see, right? Those are for the sprouts. There's more sprouts. And then, of course, we've got some skim milk. And then what I'll do is I'll find a place for these things, put them away. I'm debating where I should put them. I'm going to take them downstairs. I have to put them in a bucket or something, right? I got to find a container for them, easy. And then I'll show you the next video what else I bought, okay? Under hypnosis, a form of hypnosis, a form of mass hysteria that's being monitored. So there's no real uproar, right?